so these are difficult times. Happy our technical team met this morning and they're taking some emergency decisions to make sure that the lights stay on.
His Excellency President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, and Kokon Kitenketi, the 24-hour man, said you know, and President and also Mampeni Edema or Mine Kron Ghana. What in Sembia Babetuja? Na Semba Nina Efa Dumsor ya Yina, Renimu say Ebeba and answer Emano Eusia Wakasa. I gossip 247. Me patch subscribe, like, and I share. Now for Franco and Sanka. Ning na me pa chocolate notification icon so na brebe ban from memoir. Onsa me aka me pa feel free natural wadring or comment section ho ye bidding wujuma e dia ma pa. Right, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and as I say no 7th January 2025 yakosweni in Edenesi Edriano so say Mampeni Ede ama o my kron Ghana. Na yera John Dramani Mahama ansa na oba betena so no ebusia obeka ya ma mfa nko wachi kakra yes ye to aba ne ma ne wie ya abato komisa ya ma mejen mensa babu aba no se ono en wetimi afa aba no se the president elect of the Republic of Ghana no ye papa edi asembi batudwa ebra na one o manfo no edi ahiemu en wo kase senior emprempren wo bai no behwe ne energy sector mekire baby a enyenam kanea ahoden no baby e free eba no abusia sikapuduo ekapuduo bi eda ho no yebeko dumsomu ekakra yentie ne.
Recently, the managers of the economy and those in government have tried to create a more upbeat, final note before they leave. But I can assure you it's a fluke. The crisis is severe and the crisis is real. Some of the numbers I'm seeing show that we're nowhere near out of the abyss into which we've been plunged. And as I said yesterday, even the energy sector alone can total everything that we've done so far, because the audited energy sector bills keep going up, and the lights have been kept on artificially because we are piling on the debt to the IPPs. If the IPPs wanted to call their debts or shut off the lights, we'll be in total darkness today. But they have invested in Ghana already, and they are not willing to pull the plug immediately. We've held some advanced meetings with them to see how, as soon as we hit the ground running, we can sit and negotiate and see how we can reach an agreement on the debt we owe them, and how we can immediately, surgically look at the energy sector so that we can bring in more efficiency, especially in the downstream ECG, which I call the sick man of the energy sector, because if we don't cure ECG and do radical surgery, this whole thing is in danger of imploding, and if it does, it will have dire consequences for business and for everybody who's in business in Ghana. But I just want to thank you for your congratulations and to assure you that I'll have an open door. Government will deal with you as transparently as possible in the environment of a win-win, that government wins and you also win.
Enti asem we no kan ebra ye to abayi ni se omeye mampani enfama micron Ghana. Into a case asem we wie ye etri ni nim se enye den ya Dumsor ebeba isan se ochiremu a wona no wate so no NPP amanyuku no wona no wo hwe eye nyinam hoden eso no wo de kakese pa na aba besia ne ade o mabo no enya asem keto akura etie nam so owie ye chi ya chese yesu en in na de chi ye pepepe which is enra on the 8th of January, the first day ya call office no what they asem bi esa tudwa nra on mpani ehia ye en wo say Dumsor no de Dumsor no o kwan a ye de befa so.
This government has not been able to add one single drop of oil or gas, cubic meter of gas, to what they inherited from us. And that is for many parochial reasons. The producers in the oil and gas sector have not been happy. Some have been hounded out. He and I went to Cote d'Ivoire for many years, went and invested there and came up with the Baleine failed, and that has been at the expense of what they were doing in Ghana. You know, we tied down Tallow in litigation over tax, which I thought we could have sat across the table and discussed amicably. Unfortunately, we lost the arbitration and were thrown out. And there are two other aspects of that tax issue that we need to sit with them, and if we can negotiate and agree a mutual agreement, then I think that would be the better option to take, and to encourage as many players in our oil and gas sector as possible. I was vice president at the time. My president, Professor Atta Mills, signed the MCC. Actually I signed it, but he initiated the discussions. When he was ready to sign, I was the one who signed it. And it was meant to improve and make Ghana the most efficient producer of electricity in Africa and become a major hub for electricity exports. Unfortunately, democracy has its dividends, but it also sometimes can be a curse. We left government and a new government took over and took over the Millennium Challenge Compact, mixed up the last segment of it, which was providing efficiency in distribution, billing, metering, and all that. And of course, PDS is history now. But we want to take a look at that again, because if we don't fix the Electricity Company of Ghana, we will continue to have a major problem with our whole power value chain. I spoke to the Americans during my last visit to the US. We met the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and we asked if it was possible for them to reinstate the $190 million that they had devoted to that aspect of it. And they said the door is not closed. And so we need to pursue that discussion. Or if we don't have access to the 190 million, if the World Bank can support us, you know, to be able to finish that aspect of it, so that we can reduce the losses, you know, where it has to do with the IPPs. But in the meantime, what we want to do is to restore some transparency in the system, restore the cash waterfall mechanism, so that we stabilize the situation until we're able to carry out all the reforms in that sector. The cocoa sector was doing very well. Unfortunately, I think the new management that was put in by this government has not been as good, and so we've seen a collapse in cocoa production. Part of it is due to climate change, but part of it is also that the farmers do not receive a fair price for their product, because if the farmers receive a fair price and they have a good income flow from cocoa, they're not going to sell their cocoa farm to somebody to come and cut down the trees and exploit and explore for gold. So those are all things we want to see, what reforms we bring into the cocoa sector to cut the size of this humongous state enterprise called Cocoa Board that spends 3.4 billion CDs on itself every year.
Etini na kanfu ananra na ese itwa se omotumi eyeyi what they saying omotumi koto party kakra ne ade ne omkika omonsase ade victory na nya ade ben abanti no na itwa so omotumi celebrate kakra until His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and then Hokani, the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Yemame Lodina Mahama, and in Penia hold one adult to for Kukudam near Onyina Kukupi Mo, Yatis or Mukopi Mo, Yera, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Papa John Dramani Mahama, Ejana Simpiania Paso, and what the two just say, Dumsor and Yadia.
At least to make up for the period when the West African gas pipeline was going to shut. Because what it means is that all our assets in the east, and when I talk about assets and generating assets in the east, I'm talking of all the generating assets in Tema, and that is Sen Power, Suno Nasobi, and all of them. We supply gas to them from Nigeria and also from Kakade through the reverse flow pipeline. And so if the maintenance is going to go on, that gas will not be available. And so you must make sure that you have enough stocks of fuel, because when there's no gas, they can run on light coal or diesel. And so this government should have made sure that they had enough stocks, or they should have ordered those stocks right now, because it takes 2-3 weeks to order the stocks. When it comes, it takes a week of treatment of the fuel before you can use it in the generating plants. And so these are difficult times. Happily, our technical team met this morning and they're taking some emergency decisions to make sure that the lights stay on. What they didn't reckon with is that we have capable people with innovative thinking, and so we put those innovative thinking caps on, and I can assure you that that first trap they set us, we shall avoid it. And so you can relax on that. And so
General no jina simpie ni apaso achiso de science me to dwanti we de atade yate dene yes wo kire mu Dumsor no enya de a eba ye ne de akire wo kire mu omo bom homoden pa se ombetimi amanyina mkane ana timi agina e de amaye na Dumsor no yansa ankomo bi ha gossips 247 medino be ma tenten gram awrade ehirame amansan chiame kwadwo fori amanyina chiame ba kope aha gossips 247 patch subscribe like and share na for front so insanka ni na echi patch click notification icon so abrebe bam from mu awonsa etimi akan na afen so patch kira wadwen comment section ho share na for front so insanka bedase